All right, Steeler fans, it is time for the mailbag segment of the Let's Ride podcast. Every single Wednesday, I dive into the mailbag answering you, the listeners' questions. All you have to do is find me on Twitter at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. And when I post the tweet, all you have to do is respond, and I will answer the question. You don't have to follow me. I'm not going to do any gatekeeping. You ask the question, I will answer. So let's start off. Corey Eckenroth. He asked basic but deep question, Jeff. Has this season been a success in your mind? Hashtag Ride or Die Crew. I am going to say that it has. And I'm going to say that it has based on the fact that when I think about things that have taken place, especially at one position group, the offensive line. When you think about the success or lack thereof at times of the Steelers offense, Zach Frazier's a rookie. Mason McCormick is not supposed to play right now. He's supposed to be behind James Daniels, and then maybe next year he's ready to step in. Broderick Jones is probably not supposed to be playing right tackle. That should be Troy Fautanu. And then you look at like the wide receivers, and maybe they had high hopes for Roman Wilson, and he gets hurt, and he's on injured reserve. And then you have the injury situation with Deshaun Elliott and George Pickens. With all the turbulence, especially just looking at issues with like injuries, I would have to say that you've already won 10 games. Let's hope they win 11, that is deemed a success. Now, a lot of fans are going to say, Jeff, you got to wait. You can't say it's a success yet. You got to see how they play Saturday, and you got to see how they play in the postseason. And I understand that. But as we sit here right now, I'm going to say that it's a success. Let's go to Jeff Coons, our buddy from up north. He says, Happy New Year from Not Mad Canada. Coach Tomlin talked about changes to be made. What is one realistic change that we'll see on Saturday night? He also added, and thank you, Jeff, for all the Steelers content throughout 2024. You have become a part of the weekly routine. I appreciate your efforts inside the Ride or Die Crew Stadium, senior varsity. I do see comfort with Fans for Sports Network. I said it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. As for the changes, I did mention this on Monday's show. I think you might see, if Jaylen Warren's fully healthy, then you might see like a more of a 50-50 split there. That is a change. We typically see Najee Harris getting more touches than Jaylen Warren. Also, I think if you add on to that, you're talking about Beanie Bishop seeing more snaps, maybe more than Cam Sutton. You're seeing Minkah Fitzpatrick back in his usual role in the deep secondary. I think those are some of the changes. I think maybe we'll see a Justin Fields package more often. I don't know. Maybe that is. We shall see. Let's go to Mark Bergen, the host of the Believe in Steelers podcast. He said, rank the Steelers playoff scenarios from most favorable to least favorable. His first is hosting the Chargers. Next is on the road against the Texans, and then on the road against the Ravens. So I would say that if I'm choosing the most favorable, I think it's on the road against the Texans. And I know the Steelers lost there last year, and I know that they are capable. But the Texans are dealing with a lot of injuries, especially at wide receiver. They signed Deontay Johnson, for crying out loud. They just don't look right. CJ Stroud doesn't look right. Hosting the Chargers will be second. And then I think the least favorable matchup is going on the road in the wild card round to play the Ravens. If you go in the divisional round of Baltimore, then so be it. Let's have at it. Let's see what can happen. But the wild card round, no. Let's go Houston. At Houston is the most favorable, then the Chargers, then on the road to the Ravens. Thank you very much for the question mark. Next, let's go to Lori. She said, hi, Jeff. My question is simple. Why on earth did the Steelers let Brian Flores go? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Lori. I've listened to a lot of people talk about this, people that are inside the facility, and even our sources hinted to it in our conversations that I've had with him, is that the Steelers wanted to do Brian Flores a solid. He wasn't going to have a job. They gave him a job. His kind of, not his methodology, but his overall premise on how to run a defense was not necessarily what the Steelers like to do. And so they would have had to overhaul a lot of stuff. And so he had an opportunity. He still wants to be a head coach. And so he went to Minnesota, and he's a DC there, and maybe he'll get another head coaching opportunity after this year. We'll see. I don't think it was as easy as just saying, well, we've been impressed. So Terrell Lawson, you're out of here, and Brian Flores, you're in, even though a lot of fans want to believe that. Let's go to Believers, the Ride or Die Crew poll of the week. Which side of the ball concerns you the most? Offense, defense, both, and everything is okay. To me, it's the defense. It's the defense. If you listen to the first half of this show, it's more than the first half, and I talked about the defense. I hope you could hear the frustration in my voice that they should be better than this. They should be playing better than this. They pay these guys so much money. They've invested so much into this these position groups, it is by far the defense. The offense is frustrating, but I got to be honest, it's the defense that has high expectations. So that's why they are my vote this week. The next one from Believers, he said, we have at least 2 more games this season, then a long, cold break from football. Enjoy these 2 games as they may be the last of the season. Let's be positive and excited about the opportunity and not be negative and cry over spilled milk. Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to these games. I want to see if the Steelers can turn it around. It's going to be difficult, but I want to see it, and I'm going to be watching, no doubt about it. All right, let's go to Brian Haynes. He asked a couple questions. He said, are you more excited or worried about Saturday? I'm excited. What am I worried about? I'm not worried about the Bengals. Are you kidding me? Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see the Steelers. Hey, you beat the Bengals in week 18. They are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. That would be a good win. That would be a good win. So I am excited. No doubt about it. I'm excited. Let's also go to Brian. He asked another question, if I can find it. My fingers are not allowing me to. Here we go. Brian Haynes, do you think we can get Brian Flores back? Kind of already answered this one. He said, our defense is way too talented to rank in the bottom third of any statistic. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Brian Flores is coming back. Could they evaluate Terrell Austin? Maybe. But no, I don't think Brian Flores is coming back. Brian also said, was Cole Holcomb coming back on your bingo card? No, it wasn't. I did not expect Cole Holcomb to return this year. There was a lot of people asking questions about, oh, well, maybe he will come back. Maybe he'll look better. I don't know. But no, I didn't see that coming. Not in the least. All right, let's go to David Briggs. He said, hey, Jeff, without all the crazy scenarios, let's say the Bengals are one of the 7 teams in the AFC. As currently constructed, would anyone think the Steelers are more dangerous and could go on a longer playoff run than Cincy? No, most people wouldn't think that they would. Because, again, you're talking about momentum. You're talking about how did they get there? If the Bengals get into the playoffs, and they would have to beat the Steelers, they'd have to hope that the Jets beat the Dolphins, and they have to hope that the Chiefs, backups, beat the Broncos on the road. If all that happens, then the Bengals would be entering the playoffs as the team with the most momentum by far, at least in the AFC. I mean, Baltimore would be close, but I mean, Cincinnati, think about that. They were left for dead. I don't think anyone would be talking about Pittsburgh. Everyone would be talking about how Cincinnati is a dangerous team. And I get it. I really do. All right, let's go to Schnecky. He said, for me, he leaves when he wants to, but can you envision any scenario where Tomlin is let go? For the record, I'm not wishing him gone. Just a question. I don't envision a scenario where Mike Tomlin is let go. I think that he leaves when he wants to. And so he signed a 3-year contract extension before last season. And I think he's going to play it out. And I think they're going to play it out. I think they're going to see what they have. And then maybe after this contract, he says, I'm done. I don't think this is for me anymore. I don't know. We'll see. So Sophie Masloff says Cam Hayward was instrumental in convincing Russ to come to Pittsburgh and wanted Kenny Pickett and Mason gone. Now that everything is blowing up, he is pointing fingers at teammates in the media. Is this a captain? Wow. Harsh criticism of Cam Hayward. Now, Cam Hayward did contact Russ. That's been public. We know this. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's a guarantee that we know that he also wanted Kenny and Mason gone. I think the Cam just wanted to add a veteran presence at the quarterback position. And Russell was going to be really cheap. And he's that veteran that's been there, done that. So I don't also think if you're talking about teammates that are pointing fingers, there were other defenders who pointed the finger way worse than Cam Hayward. Cam said, sometimes it's 10 guys and there's one guy not doing their job. Patrick Queen, Deshaun Elliott, those two in particular, very poignant comments about their teammates. At the same time, I get what you're saying about being a captain. But where do you draw the line between a captain calling it like it is and always saying exactly what the media wants? It's tough to have it both ways. Let's go to the next question. Ed Cunningham says, Happy New Year, Jeff. Question number 1. Do you think any of the Steelers players have ever listened to your podcast? So I'm fortunate enough that I've spoken with a source, and he said that there have been players that have listened. I don't think they would know me if they tripped over me, but they have listened to the show on occasion. I don't know if they're regular listeners or maybe someone played something. Maybe I said something stupid. Who knows? But I thought that was pretty cool when he told me that. Question 2. If the Steelers just completely rout the Bengals, are you back to believing they're contenders? No, I'm not. But it would help with me, and I'm sure plenty of other fans, in terms of how they feel about the team entering the playoffs. If they rout the Bengals, then it's going to be one of those, all right, here we go. Let's see if they can make some noise, but it's going to be, you gotta prove it. You gotta show me. Let's finish this up like we always do with Steeler Fan 69. This, hello, my friend. The only gift I got for Christmas was a deck of sticky playing cards. I'm having a hard time dealing with this. Next one. Alligators can live up to 100 years, which is why there's an increased chance that they'll see you later. Very good. Happy New Year. That's what he says. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And my gosh, this has been fun. This has been a hell of a 2024. What a crazy year. Once this thing is all done, we'll wrap up this whole season, whether you're going back to the trades in the offseason, the draft, all of it. We'll go wrap it up, but we still have 2 games to go. Be on the lookout for everything Steel Curtain Network related. That's our podcast. That's also our website, steelcurtainnetwork.com. Give it a check, steelcurtainnetwork.com. I'm really proud of that website, and it's growing. I want you to be a part of it, so go check it out. You can find us on all of your platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, the podcast, Steel Curtain Network. Search it. You'll find us, but that does it for me. I'll be back on Friday behind enemy lines. Jerome Betts, the All Bets Are Off segment. We finished up. Be safe. Be kind. God bless. Happy New Year. We'll see you next time. Go Steelers.